Hey, welcome back to the channel, my people. If you're new here, welcome, please hit that subscribe button because trust me, you do not want to miss what's happening on this show. And if you're a regular, listen, you already know today's episode is about to wreck us emotionally, so let's not waste any time. Grab your tea, your wine, whatever you're sipping on, because we are diving straight into today's episode of Bloodline Manor. Now if you watched last episode, you already know we left off in absolute chaos. Thandai had just found that hidden letter in her late father's study. Zenil was creeping around the east wing at like 2 a.m. for reasons nobody understands yet, and that whole engagement dinner between Linda and Becky basically imploded on camera. So yeah, we had a lot to pick up on today, and honestly, the episode did not disappoint. Let's get into it. Scene 1, the morning after. So we open this episode the morning after that disastrous dinner. The house is dead silent, like, eerily silent, and we see the housekeeper, Monomsa, walking through the dining room cleaning up broken glass from the night before. And can we just talk about how the show uses silence so well? No music, no dialogue, just her sweeping up glass while we see flashback cuts of the dinner falling apart. Chef's kiss, honestly. Great directing. Then we cut to Thandai's room, and she's sitting on her bed just staring at that letter she found. She hasn't even opened it yet. Sis, what are you waiting for? I was literally yelling at my screen. But okay, I get it, the show wants to build the tension, and it works, because we the viewers are dying to know what's inside. Her sister Linda knocks on the door, still in her dress from the night before, mascara smudged, clearly been crying all night, and asks Thandai point blank, "Did you know Becky was going to do that?" Now here's the thing, we as the audience don't actually know what that is yet, because we didn't see the full blowout. The show cut away right at the climax last episode. Rude, honestly. So Thandai is confused too, and she says she has no idea what her sister is talking about. Linda finally breaks down and reveals it. Becky stood up in front of everyone and basically accused their family of hiding money that was owed to his family for generations. Like, in front of everyone. At an engagement dinner. Who does that? I was gagged. This is why you vet people before you get engaged, y'all, I'm just saying. Scene 2, the study. Okay, this next scene is where things start getting really juicy. We cut to Zenil, remember, the one sneaking around at 2 a.m. last episode, and she's back in the study, except now it's daytime and she's pretending to just be tidying up. But the camera lingers on her hands, and she slips something into her cardigan pocket. We don't see what it is yet. The show is being so cagey about this, and I love it and hate it at the same time, you know that feeling. Her husband Cypher walks in and catches her there, and there's this incredibly tense exchange where he asks why she's always in the study lately. She deflects, says she's just missing her father-in-law, grief, blah blah, and honestly, I don't believe her for a second. Neither did Cypher, if his face was anything to go by. The actor who plays him is honestly so underrated, the way he can convey suspicion with just his eyes, no words needed. Scene 3, Thandai opens the letter. Okay, this is the scene we've all been waiting for. Back to Thandai, alone in her room, and she finally opens the letter. And can we talk about the way this show builds suspense? Slow zoom on her face, her hands are shaking, the music starts creeping in low. And listen, the letter isn't from her father like she assumed. It's from a woman named Precious, someone none of us have ever heard of before, and the letter basically hints that Thandai's father had a whole other family that he'd been secretly supporting for years. A whole other family, you guys. I actually gasped out loud at this point, not gonna lie. This is exactly the kind of twist this show does so well. It takes something we thought was simple, or it's just a letter from dad, and completely flips it into a whole new storyline. Thandai's reaction is priceless too. she just kind of freezes, rereads it like 3 times, and then quietly folds it back up like she's trying to convince herself it didn't happen. Denial mode fully activated. We've all been there, honestly. Scene 4, the village flashback. Now the show does this thing where it cuts to a flashback, and this one takes us back about 20 years, to what we assume is the origin of all this drama. We see a younger version of the father, and a young woman who we now assume is Precious, in what looks like a rural village setting. They're clearly close, clearly hiding their relationship from the family. And there's this one moment where he gives her money wrapped in cloth and tells her to keep this safe for the child. The child, y'all. There's a child. Okay, so now we're not just talking about a secret relationship, we're talking about a secret sibling that Tendai and Lindai apparently don't know exists. My mind is racing right now just recapping this to you, imagine watching it live. Scene 5, Becky confronts the family lawyer. Meanwhile, because this show never lets you sit with one storyline for too long, we cut back to present day, and Becky, fresh off humiliating himself and Lindai at dinner, storms into the office of the family's lawyer, Mr. Dlamini. And he's demanding to see old financial documents, insisting that his grandfather was cheated out of land that rightfully should have gone to his family. Now here's my hot take, I don't think Becky is a villain here. I think the show is trying to set him up as this reckless truth-teller who's messy about how he does things, but not necessarily wrong about what he's saying. And that makes him such an interesting character because you're kind of rooting for him even while you're side-eyeing his methods. Anyone else feel that way? Let me know in the comments. Mr. Dlamini, though, shady as ever, basically stonewalls him, says the records are sealed and he'd need a court order. Which, come on, we all know that's code for there's something to hide here. Scene 6, Zenil's secret. Back to Zenil, and this is where the episode really picks up pace. She goes to what looks like an abandoned outbuilding on the property, and she finally takes out the thing she took from the study earlier. It's a small key. Just a key. But obviously it opens something important, because why else would the show spend this much time on it? She uses it to open an old trunk hidden under some floorboards, and inside, we see stacks of old photographs and what looks like a diary. She starts flipping through it with this look of pure dread on her face, like she's confirming something she already suspected. The camera never shows us what's actually written in the diary, which, come on show, just let us see it. But no, they're saving that reveal for later, clearly. I have a theory here, and tell me if you agree. I think Zenil already knew about Precious and the secret child. I think she's been protecting this secret for years, maybe even before she married into the family. That would explain why she's so on edge every time the study or the past comes up. What do you guys think? Drop your theories below because I need to know I'm not the only one theorizing like this is a full-time job. Scene 7, Lindai and Becky's breakup. Okay, emotional gut punch scene incoming. Lindai tracks down Becky after his lawyer's office confrontation, and we get this raw, quiet conversation between them, no yelling this time, which honestly hit harder than if they had been screaming at each other. She tells him she understands why he's angry, but she can't keep defending him to her family if he keeps blindsiding her like this. And Becky, to his credit, actually apologizes, genuinely, not performatively, but he also tells her he can't let this go, because it's not just about money, it's about his grandfather's dignity. And Lindai, with tears in her eyes, says maybe they need space. Not a breakup exactly, but a pause. My heart actually hurt for both of them in this scene. This is what I mean when I say the writing on this show doesn't make anyone purely right or purely wrong, it's messy, like real relationships are messy. Beautifully done, honestly. Scene 8, the cliffhanger. Okay. Here we go. This is the part you've all been waiting for, the part that's going to make you scream at your screen just like I did. We end the episode back with Thandai. She's made a decision, she's going to try and find this woman, Precious, from the letter. She goes through her father's old contacts, finds an address in a town a few hours away, and decides she's driving there herself, alone, without telling anyone. But here's the kicker: as she's leaving the house, loading her bag into the car, the camera cuts to a shot of someone watching her from an upstairs window. We don't see who it is clearly, just a silhouette. And then boom. Credits roll. I actually yelled at my TV. Who is that? Is it Zenil, who clearly has her own secrets tied to this? Is it Zethu, suspicious as ever? Or is it someone we haven't even properly met yet? The show loves doing this to us, and I am both furious and obsessed. My thoughts, predictions. Okay, so let's break down where I think this is going, because I have thoughts. First, I don't think Precious is going to be easy to find, or maybe when Thandai gets there, Precious won't be alive anymore, and instead she'll meet the secret sibling directly. That would be a wild gut punch twist, and honestly this show has done wilder. Second, I'm fully convinced Zenil already knows the secret sibling exists. That diary she has. I bet it details the whole history between her, the father, and Precious. I think next episode we're going to get a flashback that finally reveals Zenil's real connection to all of this, and I don't think it's going to be innocent. Third, Becky and Linda's pause is not going to last. Mark my words. These two are endgame, I can feel it, but the show's going to put us through some pain before we get there. And that mystery silhouette in the window. My gut says it's Zethu. He's been way too quiet, way too watchful this whole episode, and I think he's about to become a much bigger player in this story than we expected. OUTRO. Okay you guys, that is the full recap for today's episode of Bloodline Manor, and wow, what an episode, right? I need you all to tell me in the comments, who do you think that silhouette in the window was? Who do you think Precious really is? And are you Team Becky or are you side-eyeing him a little? I want to hear all your theories. If you enjoyed this recap, do me a huge favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and turn on notifications because I recap every single episode as soon as it drops. Next episode is looking absolutely wild based on the promo, so trust me, you don't want to miss it. Alright, that's it from me for today. I'll see you in the next recap. Stay blessed, stay dramatic, and I'll catch you next time. Bye guys. Want me to adjust the tone more comedic, more emotional, change the plot direction, or build this into a series format you can reuse weekly with new details plugged in?